Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to live US session. Today we're gonna touch base some movement what we see yesterday because we see some pullback on indices, and we have now some major news what will impact some the market. So I will share the screen and see how maybe the price is gonna react. So the news is this one. So there is the employment claim about the jobless. So this is the get a pen. So today is Thursday, 1:30 p.m. So which is this one? Is the forecast was to 236, it just come out to the 261, so higher than forecast. So let's see if we had some impact on the market. Let me get this the IG chart. I'm looking some setup on gold as well. I'll explain why later on. Let's touch base before on Nasdaq, because yesterday we had some movement on Nasdaq, because Tuesday we said we might see some pullback, and we didn't on Tuesday, but we did yesterday. So the view was to have some pullback around the 14,000, which maybe could happen. So this was the bar of yesterday. So I would like to see some retracement until this trend line go around the support here, and this the 4,000 mark level. I might consider later on to short the indices, just short term, and then if we'll have this some retracement, I will set up myself to be a buyer again. So this is the view on Nasdaq, and I will try to see this movement happen. So if we drop down time frame 4 hour, we see already some change of trend, because clearly break this trend line here, and I would like to see the first cycle happening here and rejecting this 14,400 to set up myself to be in the short side. Also because if you see the accumulation distribution line is it doesn't make any more higher low as in uptrend, but here it did, but then it break through. So this is another sign on, because I'm a little bit bearish at the moment on indices. S&P 500 is same things, is rejecting the level now of the 4,300, what we talked last week. Also, the line is pointing down, and we have this double top and breaking this previous higher low. So potential is more bearish Nasdaq than S&P. So I would prefer to short Nasdaq because the chart is clear. Also, S&P is good. Let me see the 4-hour chart. For our chart as well is we have this double top we call. I would like to see a little bit more push lower and then come back here, which Nasdaq is the 4-hour trend is looking more bearish than S&P. Moving on dollar. Let me bring the dollar index chart. This is our watch list you can create on multiple watch list on the TradingView account if you have the Pro account. Otherwise, you will have just one watch list if you don't have the Pro account. So the dollar index is ranging at the moment because is between the support and resistance level, because we want to see dollar uptrend and breaking this 104.40, which is from last week. It didn't happen, and now is looking like you want to recharge a bit, and I'm looking to see if hold this 103.35 to set up myself again to be a dollar buyer, because if you see we're still an uptrend, but the price action is not the bullish anymore. So I would like to see also that the line is pointing down, as you can see here. I would like at the line breaking this previous higher point. So I want to see this at the line come up here. So I'm waiting to be a dollar buyer. Until then, I'm not interested to be a buyer until I don't see some rejection on this level to push higher. Of course, if price is gonna go below this 103.35, I will see some setup to be a seller on dollar. But until we see this uptrend, I'm continue to be a dollar buyer. So let's see the currency pair. Let's start with Aussie dollar against the dollar. So we see some strength on Aussie, which this phase 2 is stronger than we could expect, because as you can see here was change of trend, so one cycle, two cycle, but now is breaking higher. So we might see some if dollar doesn't reject the 103. So this is my best setup to be along on Aussie dollar, because of course when we see is breaking this higher this point, so if it's gonna break, mean a change of trend. So this is on top of my list if I see some weakness on dollar. Also, the line is trying to make higher low, and if this one is gonna break, I'm gonna have another confirm it's gonna change a trend. Moving on euro US dollar. We said I want to see the euro is coming on this area to set up myself to be a seller again, because as we can see this phase is very strong. So I would like some healthy retracement until this 108, 108.50 to set up myself to be a seller again. At the moment it's ranging, so it's not on top of my list. Moving on, pound against the dollar. We see some very unclear price action on pound, because I want to see this reject, which it did, this 125, but then we had some bullish price action, some dodgy price action, and today we see some strength on pound. Until doesn't break this one, I'm still bearish on pound, but it's unlikely to trade because price it doesn't match the trend. So it's not the trend now, because it's unclear what the price is gonna head. So I'm moving on. So if it's not clear, it's not there. Moving on New Zealand dollar, which I would like to see. So we see is clear is downtrend because first cycle, second cycle, but I want to see price coming here, matching this support level. So support and resistance, which is our trading system. And I would like to see this price rejecting, which is 61.40. And also the AD line is matching the downtrend. So it's making lower low, lower high. If I zoom in, you will see better. So you can see I have some notification on IG. I'm gonna go there later. So you can see it's building nice the downtrend that the line as well. So I would like to see some pullback as well. So the price come here, reject to be a New Zealand seller, which is on top of my list if I see the dollar strength. Moving on, dollar CAD. CAD been the best performance this week, so it's stronger, and but now is heading a major resistance level, which is this one is 1033. Let's see if it's gonna hold 133.44. I have this level here because you can see previously it reject. Yesterday price action was look like rejecting. So let's see if it's gonna reject again. But you see is a ranging market at the moment. So this is the bottom, this is the top. So let's see if I can see some strengths on dollar. I might trade some reversal trade until the middle of the range, but it's unlikely I'm gonna trade this one. So if I see some strengths again, I'm gonna short the New Zealand. The last one is dollar yen, which is the chart is looking nicely. We have this uptrend, but now phase 2 is unclear because you see this is nice, this 4 bar, so a pullback, and then this have to be like a phase 1, but we can see a buyer stepping in stronger. So I will see if this is gonna break to start again to be a buyer on dollar yen. So the price will be 140.20. So if I see some breaking this level, so let's see 4 hour time frame. Yeah, you have to break this level before I will consider to be a buyer on dollar yen. So yeah, let's say 140.55 50 area. I'll touch base dollar Swiss franc, but it's not what I trade, so it's not my interest. So we see some Swiss franc is gaining, and which look like is the most bullish today, but it's not on top of my list to short or maybe buyer, because we see is an uptrend, but it's not on my trading setup and trading watch list, so I will move on. So let's see the IG chart. So we have some reaction on the gold, which I wanted to be in the short side of gold if price was staying below this 1,950, but is now is not on my watch list anymore because it's coming up to this level. So I want to be like on the short side like this. So if you see the 4-hour chart, which was nice, start to have a nice first cycle here. So I want to see if this one was rejecting the daily pivot to be a seller. So let's see if later on the dollar opening, the US opening, this could happen, but in the meantime, now it's not. So let me put some alert. Price level, if prices start to come this 1,950, I will check and see some setup if we're gonna short the gold. Silver, let's see silver daily time frame. So we saw yesterday price heading the 24 and rejected nicely. So I want to see now price breaking below this bar from yesterday, 2350. I might consider to sell the silver as well. Because if you see 4-hour trend, I want to see this breaking before this mess here. This ranging here. You can see. So I want to see price heading below the 2340. Moving on, oil, the last commodity, daily time frame is not my list because as you can see there is no trend and is ranging market, so I'm not considered to be a buyer or seller on US oil. So yeah, that's it. To recap, short-term seller on indices if I see some bearish price action later on. So let's check trading view the pre-market how it's gonna look like. So this QQQ is corresponding on the Nasdaq. So the pre-market is look like it's gonna gap higher. So let's see if after the gap higher we see some bearish price action to go short. SPY as well, the pre-market is look like going up, but we still have to break the resistance, so we might see some double top to consider to be a short side. Until then, if we're gonna see some bullish price action and the price is gonna come up the 4,300, I might consider it to be if price is gonna spike up and stay up, I'll consider to still be a index buyer. But I would like to see some retracement. So my main focus is to be a seller short term. So for me that's it for today. Thank you for joining or who's gonna watch the recording. So if you don't wanna miss, we have always some topic during the week. Jake is doing some video about the weekly update for the market view every Sunday. Some crypto system and watch list every week. So we're gonna have always 2 live tradings every week, Tuesday and Thursday. So if you don't want to miss and support our channel, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't want to miss any opportunity or any trading ideas. So for today, thank you very much. Have a lovely evening, and I'll see you next week. Thank you very much.